Welcome back to the channel. My people, listen carefully. October 1st is supposed to be Nigeria's Independence Day, a day of freedom, joy, and celebration. But this year, instead of dancing and waving flags, thousands of Nigerians are preparing to march on the streets shouting one message: hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Because for them, Nigeria is not celebrating freedom. They say Nigeria is celebrating slavery, oppression, and injustice. And at the center of this injustice is the trial and suffering of Nnamdi Kanu, the leaders of IPOB. But here's the shocking part: why the government is keeping Kanu locked up in DSS custody, they are secretly freeing and even pampering Boko Haram terrorists. How can a government treat terrorists better than its own citizens? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will shock you.
Nigerians, we thank God for how much we have achieved since we made a clarion call of one Nigeria, one voice protest. We saw what happened in court yesterday. Nnamdi Kanu was refused to be released for his medical attention, and Nnamdi Kanu is dying in DSS custody. And that is why one Nigeria, one voice protest is still on. Peaceful protest is our fundamental human right as citizens of this country. I have written to IGP. I have also written to the DSS director, and this protest is going to be peaceful on 1st on October at Eagle Square, Abuja. And I'm calling Nigerians with good conscience to support this clarion call online and offline. Online, those that will not make it to Abuja should push for this clarion call on the social media. And those that will sacrifice and make it to Abuja will come offline to support us in this call. This is not a call to anarchy. It is a call to challenge the constitution that actually fed Boko Haram with rice and chicken in Maiduguri by the same federal government. The constitution that actually romanced bandits in Katsina after killing Nigerians. It is a call to challenge the same constitution that have kept Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody and is battling with medical challenges. I am calling of all Nigerians with good conscience. It is a call to justice. It is a call to equity. It is a call for fairness. And it is a call against victimization of Nigerian citizens just because of his tribe. We need Nigerian support for the success of this protest. For the success of this protest, we need Nigeria to support us with branded t-shirt, hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu. White t-shirt with Nnamdi Kanu picture, particularly this picture for those that will not be able to make it to Abuja. And we also need Nigeria to support us with caps, green caps with the picture of Nnamdi Kanu on it. And we need Nigeria to help us with banners and hand flyers for the success of this protest. And we are calling of sincere and genuine Nigeria activists, both those with a loud voice and those with a small voice. I am calling on all Nigerian artists of good conscience. I am also calling Igbo as a nation and as a people. You have done sit at home for years and it did not work. It is time for you to leave your home and to join me for this clarion call in Abuja. This protest can also be done in all the eastern states on the day of celebrating our Independence Day, which is supposed to be celebration of independence, but we are actually going to celebrate slavery by a government that is not sincere to her citizens. We are going to celebrate slavery by a government that has actually made her citizens slaves.
You just saw it. The anger in the street is real. and the people are no longer silent. But let me tell you, my people, that clip is just the beginning, because in this video, I will take you deep into 10 powerful reasons why Nigerians are saying October 1st is not independence but oppression. And inside each reason, you will hear real human stories, stories of pain, betrayal, and injustice. This is not about politics. This is about life, death, and the soul of a nation. And let me warn you, now, reason number 10 will shake you, because it asks a question that even the government cannot answer. So stay with me till the very end. October 1st, protest, independence, or slavery. Nigeria is turning 65. The president will stand tall in Abuja. Soldiers will march and the national anthem will echo across the land. But beyond the fancy parade, the real story is different. This year, the people are not planning to celebrate. They are planning to protest, from Lagos to Enugu, from Aba to London. Nigerians are preparing to hold placards and banners with one simple demand: free Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Because for them, October 1st is no longer a day of joy. It is a reminder of slavery, oppression, and betrayal. A young man in Enugu said, "How can I celebrate independence when my brother has been in DSS for 4 years? How can I wave Nigeria flag when there is no food on my table and no job for my future?" So, while the government will be clapping, the street will be boiling, and the cry will be loud. Independence without justice is nothing but slavery. 4 years in DSS custody, Nnamdi Kanu was rearrested in June 2021. Since then, he has spent more than 4 years in DSS custody, for long years of isolation, for years without freedom. Even after the Court of Appeal ruled in October 2022 that Kanu should be released, the government refused to obey. They kept him locked up, ignoring the same law they swear to uphold. Now, think about it. If the government can disobey the court, what example are they setting for ordinary citizens? If the law no longer protects the people, then who is really free in this country? Kanu's family has carried the pain too. His mother died years ago, and he could not attend her burial. His people are still mourning. His supporters are still waiting. My people, this is not just about one man. It is about justice. Because when justice is denied to one, it is denied to all. And on October 1st, Nigerians are asking, how long will a man remain in prison for demanding freedom while killers roam free? Courts versus government. This is the shameful part. The courts have spoken. Lawyers have argued. Judges have ruled. But the Nigerian government refused to listen. In 2022, the Court of Appeal ordered Kanu's immediate release. Instead of obeying, the government dragged the case to the Supreme Court, playing politics with justice while man's life is wasting away in detention. Let's be honest, when a government chooses which court ruling to obey and which to ignore, that is no longer democracy, that is dictatorship. One lawyer said, if a government can disobey its own courts, then the courts are useless, and the constitution is dead. So, on October 1st, while the president talks about rules of law, protesters will remind him that the biggest lawbreaker in Nigeria today is the government itself. Because justice delayed is justice denied, and justice denied to Kanu is justice denied to every Nigerian. The VIP treatment of Boko Haram. Now, let us talk about the painful double standard that every Nigerian sees but no longer want to admit. Why Nnamdi Kanu is locked up like a criminal. Boko Haram terrorists are being released as repentant citizens. Over 1,500 Boko Haram fighters have been reintegrated into society. Many were given new clothes, food, training, and even scholarship. Some were housed in government facilities with better treatment than law-abiding citizens. But what about the victims? What about the mothers whose children were killed by Boko Haram? Bombs. What about the villages burned to the ground? One mother in Borno said, through her tears, my son was killed by Boko Haram. And today, the same killers are being celebrated as repentant. What kind of country is this? The bitter truth is this. In Nigeria today, terrorists are rewarded, but agitators are punished. And that is why protesters are shouting, because this is not just injustice, this is madness. Selective justice exposed. Look at Nigeria closely and you will see selective justice everywhere. IPOB was banned years ago. Young men carrying just a flag are hunted, arrested, and sometimes even killed. But Fulani S-men who have been responsible for thousands of deaths in Benue, Plateau, and Sata Kaduna continue to roam free. Reports from Amnesty International have documented the killings, but nothing has been done. No mass arrest, no trials, no punishment. So the question is simple. Who is the real enemy in the eyes of the Nigerian government? The one carrying a flag or the one carrying an AK-47? This is why people say Nigeria is upside down. Because when you punish the peaceful and reward the violent, you are not building a nation, you are destroying it. And October 1st, the protesters will make sure that the world sees this advocacy for what it is. Independence Day ironing. On October 1st, the president will stand tall, raise the green and white flag, and speak about unity, peace, and progress. Soldiers will march, planes will fly overhead, and the whole ceremony will look grand on TV. But ask yourself, what are ordinary Nigerians really experiencing? Fuel prices at record high, food costs beyond the reach of the poor, graduates roaming the streets without jobs, farmers unable to go to their farms because of insecurity, kidnappers demanding ransom every week. A young graduate in Lagos recently said, I studied engineering for 6 years. Today, I'm riding Okada just to survive. Tell me, what exactly am I celebrating on Independence Day? This is the irony. Why the leaders are clapping, smiling, the people are crying and struggling. So, for many, October 1st is not a day of celebration. It is a day of reflection, a day to ask if this so-called independence is real or just another disguise for slavery and oppression. The protesters' anger. Let's be clear, this October 1st protest is not just about Nnamdi Kanu. It is about something bigger. It is about Nigerians who are tired of hunger. It is about youth who are tired of unemployment. It is about farmers who cannot go to their farms. It is about parents who cannot feed their children. When the protesters march with banner saying #Free Nnamdi Kanu, they are not just talking about one man. They are talking about freedom for all Nigerians. Freedom from bad government. Freedom from insecurity. Freedom from oppression. One protester said, if they can treat Nnamdi Kanu like this, then tomorrow they can treat any of us the same way. That is why we are shouting, not just for him, but for ourselves and for our children. This is why the protest is so powerful, because it speaks for millions of silent Nigeria who may never carry a placard, but who carry pain in their hearts every single day. The fear of Nnamdi Kanu's voice. Why does the government fear Nnamdi Kanu so much? Why keep him in prison for over 4 years, disobeying court orders, ignoring international pressure? It is because of his voice. Kanu's word cut deep. He speak about the injustice in Nigeria's structure. He questioned the very foundation of the country. He exposed what politicians prefer to keep hiding. And in a country where truth is often more dangerous than terrorism, that voice is seen as a threat. Let's be honest, the government is not afraid of guns. It is afraid of ideas, because ideas live longer than bullets. By keeping Kanu in DSS custody, they hope to silence him, but instead, his voice has grown louder, echoing in the streets, in the diaspora, and in the hearts of millions. And that is why protesters believe freeing Kanu is not just about one man, it is about freeing the truth itself. The global spotlight. This protest is not just happening in Nigeria, it is global. From London to Washington DC, from Berlin to Toronto, Nigerians in the diaspora are preparing to march. They are raising banners, printing t-shirts, and organizing rallies. The message is the same. Hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu. And the world is beginning to notice. Human rights groups are asking questions. International media outlets are reporting the double standard. Even the UN has received petition. This is what the government fears. Global shame. Because when Nigeria celebrates independence on October 1st, but the world sees Nigeria protesting in London, New York, and Berlin, the contradiction becomes too obvious to hide. A man in London said during a recent rally, "We are the voice of those who cannot speak in Nigeria. If they silence them at home, we will shout abroad until the world hears." That is why October 1st will not just be a Nigeria story, it will be an international headline. The final question. So, after 65 years of so-called independence, Nigerians are asking one final question. Independence from who? Because the shame are still here, the oppression is still here, the injustice is still here, and the clearest proof is these Boko Haram terrorists are walking free. But Nnamdi Kanu, a man who carry no gun, who only carries his voice, remain in DSS custody. This is the painful truth. Nigeria is celebrating freedom while practicing slavery. Nigeria is shouting unity while promoting division. Nigeria is honoring terrorists while punishing truth tellers. One protester said, "Best independence without justice is not freedom. It is slavery with a new name." So, on October 1st, while the government is dancing in Abuja, Nigerians will be shouting in the street. Their voices will ask the question that cannot be ignored. Is this independence or is this oppression? My people, you have heard it. The injustice is clear. The truth is bitter, but silence is dangerous. If we keep quiet, the chains will only tighten. But if we speak, if we shout, if we stand together, then change is possible. So, I am asking you right now, don't just watch this video. Like this video right now to show your support. Drop your comment with hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu now, so the world can see our unity. Share this video with your friends, family, and groups so that the truth spreads far and wide. And don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time, because this fight is not one day, it is every day until justice comes. Remember, October 1st is not just Independence Day, it is Judgment Day, a day to decide whether Nigeria will continue in oppression or whether the people will rise and demand justice. Hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu. Hashtag justice for Nnamdi Kanu.